Well, we're going to start now, and I want to just go over the format of the program tonight. I'm Jill Berman, and I'm with co-founder of Columbia County Reduces Waste (BYO), and we have with us our guest tonight, the rapper from Brooklyn, the eco educator, the rapper who will talk to you, at least rap to you, about doing things to love and save the earth. And that is Hila the Killer, or Hila Perry from Hila the Earth, as she's known. And you can see the picture of the earth that she represents and embodies. So we're going to start. As you're putting your names in and your organizations with the question of why BYO? And we've been doing this several years now, but why BYO? Why are we doing it? And what are we getting out of the experience of working so hard to reduce our waste in our communities and in the U.S.? So, Yayoi, would you like to speak to that?
Um, sure. Like why BYO? I'm caught off guard, and I'm not sure if that was on the part of the agenda, but of course BYO is it's all about practical reuse, foodware reuse, and all about keeping the spirit high in the midst of all the crazy, terrible things that's going on in the country right now. So that's what BYO is. It's self-reliance. Um, and it for us to learn to be self-reliant is a very good thing, I think, is because it's because the corporations and power that be want us to be uh, stay ignorant on issues and that is very convenient for them. So for us to be self-reliant, and BYO is a part of the one of the actions we can take, and we can learn so many things through just this simple, seemingly very simple work. So yeah, Jill. So that's what it is. If you could move the slide, next slide to the next slide. Thank you, Jill. Back to Jill.
Yeah, and Dr. Jill, and back to me. And I just want to give you an outline of the program tonight. We're going to have talk about how to stay connected. We are going to hear from groups. We have a couple of new groups that we want to welcome, and that's our group from uh, Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, and our group from Virginia. And they hopefully will say a few words. And we're going to have one of a person that we've heard from before, Tara Neeram, who is with Reduces, and also she's the treasurer of Waste-Free advocates in Oregon, and they have had some interesting developments and have made some progress on some of the things that they've been working on. So she's going to be talking to us for a little bit, and we are going to end again toward the end of the program with our breakout rooms, and there are some questions, and we'll get to that in a moment. There are some questions that we want you to start thinking about, and that is, what are you refusing? What are you building? Have you instituted any boycott strategies, um, such as buying nothing or exchange groups? And what have your BYO wins been? And the failures and the fixes that you've instituted with your group. So those are some of the things we're going to end. We're going to have the breakout sessions at the end. If anybody wants to be with anybody who's on this call on the Zoom, please let Amy know so that she could pair you up and so you could get to be with the people that you want to continue your conversations with. So back to how we stay connected. I mean, it's kind of lonely out there when we're with our groups and we're working hard to find ways of reducing waste and doing BYO. And there are a number of ways that we have instituted to keep in touch and to make sure that we're feeling the support that's actually there for us. We have a website. It's US Reduces. And you could tag us at US Reduces. If you have any local news that you want to share with all of us all over the country, please go to info@usreduces.org. And Ian, if you could just put in some of these websites and these links so that people can copy them down. If you have any questions or you want to troubleshoot some situation, you could get on to our link, https://www.facebook.com group slash, and then and you'll find that there's the website there. There are a number of numbers, but you'll be able to share some of your concerns and questions and get some information and help. Also, make sure and feel free, and it's a really good idea to tag US Reduces um, and through your Instagram link and through your Facebook links, and send so that we know what's going on and we could put it into our newsletter. Send local news pictures if you have them and information to info@usreduces.org. We have a Google group and a Facebook group. So there's lots of support that's out there that you could use and that's available so that we can have a dialogue going about what we're doing, what our challenges are, what our successes are, and that's inspiring and helpful. And it's not only for our own group, for groups over the country who may be facing the same kind of concerns and issues or having wonderful wins that they want to share. So back to you, Yayoi. I know that you usually like to say a few words.
Yes, sure. Ian, if you could move the slide, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thanks. So this is the agenda. So Jill just kind of went through it. So so just so people know the order of things, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go through a few announcements. If I repeat, I'm sorry. I hope I won't be repeating things that Jill just said, but I'm gonna show just a couple slides to go through the announcements. And then we have our local program spotlight. Tara's here, and thank you very much. I'm really excited to have her speak about what's going on in Oregon. Then we have Hila. Thank you so much. We are super excited that she's here. She is a star in New York City. She's doing all kinds of awesome things. So we are so grateful she's here. Everybody's really excited. And we can't wait to hear her new BYO music. We heard the demo and it was really excellent. So I think you guys are gonna all really love it. So thank you, Kira, for being here. Thank you very much. And then we're gonna do the breakout social. Uh, and then wrap. So Ian, could you move the slide, please? Okay, so this is what we when this is the one I got caught off the guard. Why we keep doing BYO? The world is unstable. We act when we can. BYO is a daily refusal of single use, and small actions repeated build the real reuse culture and local resilience. Okay, thank you. Move to the next, please. Okay, heads up. The next gathering is we're gonna have Rebecca Burgess of Fiber Shed, author of the namesake Fiber Shed, and she's gonna be fantastic. I met her at a conference, and she's working on regenerative textile work in California, and to keep the textile local. and move away from the terrible fast fashion and all the terrible waste that we are causing. So it's a really it's going to be very interesting. Register for the meeting. Thank you so much, Amy, for dropping the link in the chat. Register for that meeting now. It's going to be in April. Our meeting happens every 2 months. So put your calendar, put it in your calendar on the first Tuesday of the month. And we are on a bi-monthly rhythm. And if you signed up for this Zoom meeting today, you'll be added to a Substack email, and you start receiving flutter of emails from us on Substack about the next meeting. But please save your schedule on your calendar. Because we're all volunteers and we're overstretched, and our newsletter, we try to get it out as soon as possible, but like a lot of times we have like 3 or 4 newsletters running up to 2 weeks running up to the gathering time. So please set your calendar, put it in your calendar. Next meeting is April 7th. And thereafter, every 2 months, the first Tuesday of the month is our meeting. And we have, Iyo, could you please move to the next slide, please? We have really exciting guests coming up. After April, in June, Miriam Gordon of Story of Stuff, previously with Upstream Solutions. She is like a mastermind of Bring Your Own Law, 2019 Bring Your Own Law. In California. So we are really, really excited to have her. She's going to share, how it was running up to passing that law. So I'm very excited about it. And in August, it's TBD, but I'm working with somebody from Gaia to find somebody to talk about bioplastics, because it's, so-called compostables and biodegradables. Too many people are still confused about it. It is a bad idea for our health and soil. So we are trying to find somebody to speak on that. And in October, we have somebody from Center for Biological Diversity, Simplify Holidays. They have a new project called Simplify Holidays, and if you go to their Instagram, just look them up on Instagram, Simplify Holidays. They are giving the tips for how to reduce waste for the holidays. And it's really very informative, and it's really good ones. So, follow them. And they said, like, we were wondering when to have their meeting, when to have them for our meeting. And they said October is a good time because, they're going to have Halloween, Thanksgiving, December holidays. So they said, yeah, let's do it in October. So like we have them in a plan, like way ahead of time in October, but that's why they are booked for the October. Okay, thank you, Iyo. Could you please move to the next? Thank you. Okay, and after we have wonderful 2 speakers, super quick local group presentation by wonderful Tara in Oregon, and then our Hila, but after that we're gonna have a breakout social. So please stay, because it's kind of great way to connect with other people across the country, like-minded potential friends, and working on the similar issues, trying to reduce waste and for justice. So this is a suggestion topic. You can talk about anything you want in those breakout socials, but I think one of the things we can talk about that's kind of on our mind right now is because of the horrible things that's happening all over the place. One of the things that we can do, and we are very good at doing, as a waste reducer is to not buying. We are very, very good at it. We are very good at when we practice zero waste. We know how to avoid Amazon. We can, we avoid packages. And all the sinister things that those corporations are doing. Amazon, Palantir, Home Depot, all of these. We can't keep counting those corporations that are funding the problems, the terrible things that's happening all over the place today. So one of the things that we can do very well, and it comes really naturally, is to avoid the purchase. And so if you have any perspectives on that, your experience doing it, just you can kind of talk about it. And I think that would be a great topic for the breakout socials. And also, we want to, celebrate here people's bring your own wins, failures, fixes, victories, and sometimes it's a struggle. So if you want to rant, here are the people who will understand the local struggles. So consider staying after the speakers, and if you get lucky, you can get to talk with Hila. Okay, in one of the breakout rooms. Okay, great. Thank you. Could you move on to the next slide, please, Ian? Ian, could you please move to the next slide?
Sorry, I all of a sudden click something and here. Sorry, it's my fault. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, great. I'm gonna pass the button back to Jill, and she can introduce our wonderful Tara from Oregon.
Okay, well, as I said, we have Tara Niren who's from Oregon Reduces. She, prior to that, she is currently the treasurer of Waste Free Advocates. For 10 years, she was a policy analyst with the U.S. Department of Labor, and she also was vice president of Waste Free Advocates. So she's a wonderful person to talk about some of the steps that they have taken in Oregon to reduce waste. And Tara?
Thanks, Jill. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm here with Oregon Reduces, but more specifically, Waste Free Advocates. And we've been doing some pretty interesting stuff recently. As Yayoi put in her in her email, we had a Portland Reuse Summit in November. That feels like ages ago, but we brought together local government officials, local government agency workers, other local organizations. We have like a steering committee that put it together, and we got financial help from Story of Stuff. So we've worked really closely with Miriam. She's fantastic. So I'm excited that she's coming to talk to everybody here. And it was a really successful day. And from that, it has led to more conversations with the city of Portland and other organizations. I think we have a Surfrider collab meeting tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. And we had some main goals that we were pitching. The goal of the summit was to try to get reusables or highlight reusables as a climate solution. And so some of the goals we were pitching were no disposables in dine-in, and allowing customers to bring their own containers. for takeout, which is legal in Oregon, which is amazing, and that businesses would be required to accept those, because that's not in our law. They're able to take them for takeout, but they are not required to take them. So we're hoping to push, at least in Portland, to make it potentially a requirement that they take it for to go. And then if they didn't, potentially having a charge for disposables if restaurants or consumers choose to do that. So this was a great event. We had a lot of fun, and we have a lot more conversations that are bubbling up because of it. We've also entered into an agreement with our metro government. So Portland's really weird. We have a city government, we have a county government, and then we have a metro government, which encompasses 3 counties. And so we've entered into a contract with our county government, and they're doing a choose to reuse program. And so we're educating restaurants on the fact that consumers can bring their own containers for takeout. We're going to get 3 restaurants to try to get them, or we're going to get 3 restaurants to switch to reusables for dine-in, and we're giving them a $500 stipend to do that. And then we're also just doing regular public outreach and education for the general public to let them know that this is now allowed. So yeah, that's basically what we've been doing in Portland. Because we're connected to a nonprofit, we always have to look for the money. So the stickers and passing out Oregon Reduces have kind of gone by the wayside a little bit with these other collaborations, but we're still really pushing for things that you all agree with. And you know, Oregon Reduces is still there in the background. So yeah.
So Tara, I have a question, and perhaps there's some other questions. We've been working very hard in New York State to get a right to refill bill passed. And Oregon's one of the few states, it's Oregon, California, Illinois, that was successful in doing that. And I was just wondering what hurdles you had to get over in order to get that bill passed. What was the opposition? What did you do to get it through?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I mean, I was involved in that, and I don't know how much opposition we faced. We had a champion in our state government, and we, you know, Surfrider, there was a local refill grocery store that came together. We had all these different folks that were really pushing for this, and we didn't get a lot of pushback. I mean, like I said, it's not required, it is allowable. And so, you know, we had people speak out against it, but it didn't hit a lot of, yeah, there wasn't a lot of opposition to it. And
so well, thank you, and I hope that happens in New York. We've bumps, but we use you as a model. So before we move on, I'm wondering if others have questions, and I can't see the screen just because I'm seeing you, and I'm just seeing a few people. So why don't, and if anybody wants to ask a question, why don't you just ask without raising your hand?
I have a question about Oregon's, you know, related to Jill. Like, you know, it is, you know, Jill and I have been working really hard to, you know, try to amend this bill in New York State Legislature that currently doesn't do anything except for, you know, acknowledging the, you know, what is currently already allowed in New York State. And one of the things that I'm curious is that our legislators is implying that they need to split the bill into 2. And I wonder that, like, if that kind of thing happened in Oregon at all, because we think it doesn't make sense, but they think, and I'm afraid that, like, if we split the bill, one will survive and the other will die, you know, quietly. So I'm just kind of curious if you ever, any of your legislators ever decide wanted to split the bill by any chance at all, or like was it just one nice bill throughout?
I mean, we've
So
definitely had that happen. Are they splitting it between like restaurants and retail? Okay. Well, and see, actually in
Oh, no, no.
Oregon, no?
It, it's actually restaurants and food vendors, and probably we don't know for sure yet. We're going to have a meeting soon, but with the legislator. But the food vendors, restaurants versus we are guessing the grocery store delis.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
ours was interesting, and actually grocery stores came first and didn't require a bill. So grocery stores, our Oregon Department of Agriculture just decided to revise their food code, their code. And so that was done through a working group with ODA, and it's all regulatory. And then the law was passed saying that restaurants, that our Oregon Health Authority, which oversees restaurants, had to rewrite their code to align with what ODA had done. So that was basically the bill that passed in Oregon that then required OHA to rewrite their health code for restaurants. So yeah, it wasn't the same package,
That's
and
good.
and one wasn't legislative, one was just regulatory. So
I understand.
what
Wow.
does
yeah,
ODA stand for?
ODA is Oregon Department of Agriculture,
Mhm.
and then the Oregon Health Authority is the one with the restaurants.
Yeah, essentially that's what they're saying in New York as well. So this is something that you went through, but you said the regulatory work was done first to provide
Mhm.
the basis for the basis for everything else to happen.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, I do have one more question for this. Nobody else, if I may. Um, you said that like your health code, our health code in New York doesn't have anything that explicitly prohibit BYO. It is in the other code, the food code under the Department of Agriculture that is a problem. Um, what in Oregon, what part of your health code was actually an obstacle?
Oh, that's a good question. It was, I think they were both, and I think the problem was they remained silent on it. So coffee shops were always allowed to refill, like it was non-hazardous liquids, is what the regulation said, was you could refill non-hazardous liquids, and that went for grocery stores doing like kombucha and beer refills at breweries and stuff. Or coffee at coffee shops. So that was addressed in our food code and the code for the grocery stores as well. But I think it was the fact that it was silent on takeout that meant that it was prohibited. Takeout and the bulk bins. So those were the two that we got allowed.
Stephen?
I was wondering if there's a location stipulation in those codes. Do you have to bring them in the front of the counter, or can they actually be refilled behind the counter?
That's a good question. No, I think they can be refilled behind the counter. Yeah. So like if you're taking it to like the cheese counter, the person can take it as long as there's a contamination-free process. And that's the other thing, that we've had such a great relationship with our metro government, and it's been great, because we did standard operating procedures. Nobody really knew, because you had to have a contamination-free process, and nobody really knew what that meant. Like the health code inspectors didn't really know what that meant. We didn't really know what that meant. So we worked with our metro government, and we came up with a standard operating procedure for retail and for restaurants. And so now that's all out there under Metro's Choose to Reuse program. And that's part of the education that we're doing, is getting the SOP, the standard operating procedure, out.
Does that procedure involve visual inspection or a machine inspecting it?
No, it would be well, I'm not sure I understand exactly the question.
Well, this operating procedure includes, I assume, an inspection of the container.
Yeah, they need to be visually clean. Visually
Okay.
clean is what the
So
regulations say.
it's a visual check, not a,
Yeah,
done with spectrophotometry. Okay, thank
no.
you.
Yep.
I saw a question that came up before in the chat. Would the person who raised it speak up? No?
Amy R. I can read it. Like he said, she says, what is one way you can raise awareness for something as specific as mandating restaurants to accept personal containers when the concern of the majority is not environmental waste and implementing a contaminate-free process can seem daunting? Oh,
I mean, I do think, I mean, this is just our wish. Microphone's not working. No problem. No problem. This is our wish list, and we know it's going to be an uphill battle to make it mandatory. I think we're very lucky that it is optional. Yeah, I understand. The contamination-free process will be a problem, and I think we'll get a lot of pushback, even just trying to push for citywide mandatory BYO. So we'll see. I mean, we're open to pivoting and working with folks, but
I have an idea. I have a response to this if I may really quickly. I to date there hasn't been a single documented case of cross-contamination from bring your own practice. There's none. And it's been United States is the only country where there are state level prohibitions against BYO. It is allowed in Italy, France, Australia, Canada. Hong Kong government even promotes it. So is the city of Seoul, South Korea. But you talk about contamination, so it's a health concern. But so there's nothing documented on BYO and cross-contamination, but there are plenty of documented, well-studied, peer-reviewed documentation studies showing that microplastics from single-use containers and PFAS from single-use containers and other toxic chemicals, toxic plastic chemicals migrate, reach out from these containers, and we are eating them every day, and it is a clear health hazard long term. So I think we might want to then ask our Department of Health, what is the priority? Are you going to just prohibit us from bringing our own clean, safe stainless steel containers for our takeouts? Why are you prohibiting this and you're forcing? Why are you making us, eat from these single-use containers that we know contain PFAS and microplastic, and we eating it from them? And I always think it doesn't really make sense. So that's my, my personal, what I always say when it comes to when people start bringing up the cross-contamination. And I actually have a little note and write-up so I can share if people are interested in that.
Are there any other comments? Tara, you wanted to say something?
no, I'm good. Thank you. I agree.
So- If we wrote to you, could you send us what you have in terms of the standard operating procedures and other things that would help us in our case?
Sure.
I'm-
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just curious because I can't see, as I said, I can only see a small portion of the screen. How many other groups are dealing with this in their states? If we could get a sense of, can we see a gallery view? And so we could get a sense of who's struggling with this and who's trying to get this kind of legislation passed. We have the same situation in New York with the health department in charge of the restaurants and the Department of Ag and Markets in charge of the groceries and co-ops and places like that. So is it possible to get if we can't see it, does anybody just kind of shout out if you're dealing with that and you're part of the woods? Anybody? Because as I see it, this is vital and key for reuse to really happen. It has to be happening so that we could use our containers in groceries and co-ops and restaurants, etc. Otherwise, it's so limited. It really doesn't make a big difference. That would make a difference.
The problem we have in Arizona is that the health code does not really say anything about contaminants. It only deals with microbes, for example, or heavy metals. So the health codes were not written with anything in mind in most states without thinking about contaminants that make you sick right away rather than long-term contaminants. So I think that's part of the problem. When you try and change the food code or the Department of Ag code, you're starting from a basis that ignores that problem to start with. And to change the whole code, you're running into an inertia problem.
Okay, I just got okay, now I could see everybody. At least now I see everybody. Basically, I see your blank screen. So I think we'll move on since I don't hear from anybody else that they want to ask a question or have another comment about this topic, which, as we know, is so important. Okay, well, let's get on to the next part of our program tonight because we want to save enough time for the breakout sessions, and we definitely want to spend enough time with our guest speaker, and that's Hila the Earth, Hila Perry, Hila the Killer are some of her names, and she is from Brooklyn. She is an echo rapper, and this is the first time we've had an echo rapper on the program. She's an educator and she's an entertainer. So Hila, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Yayo. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I don't go by Hila the Killer anymore. That was my name from, I don't know, I guess 2014 or yeah, 2014 till just 2022 or 2023. I guess I changed it to Hila the Earth. And yes, I am a musician, content creator, activist. I make music about the earth, and you can find me on like pretty much every platform. The one that I'm most engaged with is Instagram at this time. I have been a zero waste advocate and practitioner for many years, about 12 years now, let's say it's 11 years. Um, it started for me when before I just begin, can I just get a check on how long I have? Like, it's 7:45 now. I should probably finish around 8:15. Is that correct?
Right.
Great. Okay. um, yeah, so I've been doing zero waste practice and lifestyle stuff for a little bit over 10 years. I started having kind of like trash consciousness after I came back from Burning Man. My first year at Burning Man was 2014. Prior to that, I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Lower Manhattan, and I think growing up in New York City, you become very desensitized to trash. There's trash everywhere, trash in plastic bags on the sidewalk, and also trash like just loose in the streets all the time. And you just become super desensitized to it. You just don't notice it. And when I went to Burning Man, I felt like there was a lot of trash consciousness there. They have a leave no trace principle that manifests as like everybody at Burning Man is very conscious of like anything that falls to the ground. They call it moop, which is matter out of place. and people yell "moop, moop" if anything is like on the ground on the playa, and you're encouraged to pick it up and make sure that it is contained. And there's no trash bins at the festival either. This is a festival that attracts something like 40,000 people in the desert in Nevada, and there's no trash bins anywhere, no public trash bins. And so this for me was like extremely like just revolutionary to me. I was like, wow. And I saw that the part of the culture there is that everybody clips like a little cup to their belt, and everyone's walking around with a cup. And another part of Burning Man is that there's no commerce, there's no like currency, just gift economy. So you go around, you get drinks, there's bars, everything is like free, and you have your cup and they pour you the drink in the cup, or they pour you a coffee in the cup. And I was just so enchanted by this that I really just decided to take that home with me. And at this point in my life, I really had no consciousness around earth, ecology, zero waste, nothing. I just went to this event because I loved art and because I'd never been really on a camping trip of that scale. And I thought it would be really cool. I just graduated from college, so like I was ready to experience something new. And despite now knowing that like Burning Man is not, you know, the most sustainable thing in the world, that really affected me, that specific thing, and it's been a big part of what I do today. Bring your own cup specifically has been like one of the champion things that I really have maintained over this decade. And I even worked as a barista for a year in Brooklyn, and really encouraged people to bring their own cups, and even like started selling metal straws at the cafe, and just had signage and all these things, and implemented a discount for people who brought their own cup. So yeah, that was kind of my contribution. I was so like interested in this topic that I wanted to create a song. At this time, I was making eco songs, eco raps with my former bandmate Nathan, who goes by Nathanology now, and we made a song called Bring Your Own Cup. So that'll be the first thing that I share with you. And in order to do that, I just need to be able to share the screen, and I think I need whoever is sharing the screen to stop sharing so that I can share.
Ian,
And then
could
I'll show
you
you.
please take that
Oh,
off?
perfect. Thank you. Okay, so tell me if you can see it. Actually, let me just open it up. Oops. Oh. Wait. Hold on, sorry. And here we go. Oh, wait. Sorry, I messed it up. One more time. Share sound. Okay, great. And y'all can hear it? I bring my own cup. I'm always glad I brought it. I voyage with my vessel. I go with my own goblet. I travel with my chalice. I stumble with my tumbler. I come with my own mug, so I don't need to bum another. I fill it up, drink it up, rinse off and reuse. Good for coffee, tea, or some freshly squeezed juice. I refuse single use, no excuses, just knowledge. Not trying to fill the land with any more garbage. I got a cup in the car, it's just par for the course. I'm married to my cup, I don't want a divorce. Place my lips upon its rim, tip it back and take a sip. Take it with me on every trip. With my mug, I come equipped. How much energy goes into making this cup? Packing and stacking this cup, trashing and stashing this cup. Save cash with this cup, dash and crash with this cup. I catch secretions that are leaking from my gash with this cup. If you have one of it, keep it and come with it. Put other stuff in it, see what can come of it. Why do you dump it? Just cause you're done with it, and then get another. I think it's redundant. Bring your own cup, but bring your own cup. Bring your own cup, but bring your own cup.
When you're walking to the coffee shop,
Bring your own cup.
when you're taking out from the restaurant,
Bring your own cup.
whether it's cold or whether it's hot, you can do with it whatever you want.
Bring your own cup, but bring your own cup.
In our goings and comings, oh so many go cupless. So we get cups and couplets from a Starbucks or Dunkin's. But when done with its function, it gets discarded. We're done with it. For those cups are like a lover we don't love and don't come with. But a cup that's just used once is just a gutless injustice, because it just doesn't give love to what the essence of cup is. So what's next? A to-go dress? Disposable cufflinks? All this cup what may indifference may just get its comeuppance. The earth is a cup, the vessel of us. Our bodies are vessels of fluid and dust. And so in a way, you are a cup, and one of these days you will be used up. And if we use too much and aren't useful enough, the earth will throw us out and fill up with new stuff.
Bring your own cup, bring your own cup. Bring your own cup, bring your own cup.
Yay! Okay, so that's Bring Your Own Cup. I actually haven't heard that in such a long time. This came out in, I want to say like maybe 2018, with Nathan. If I ever perform it live, I make a few changes to my verse. I feel like we were at an era where we were really, we were just a little bit more edgy and like wanted to say certain things, but I've changed a few lyrics since then. Now we're gonna just like fast forward to 2025, where I released a year of cups on my Instagram. It's like just like a cute little 2-minute super cut of me, like all the moments that I filmed my cup in the wild. I'll just show you that. It's super cute. Here we go, year of cup.
You always make me smile when I'm feeling down. You give me such a vibe. It's totally bona fide. It's not the way you walk, and it ain't the way you talk. It ain't a job you got. Life makes me satisfied. Love, it feels so good. And that's what takes me high. Higher than I've been before. Your love, it keeps me alive. Yeah. Thought I should let you know that your touch, it means so much. When I'm alone at night, I'm always thinking, oh, love, it feels so good. Ooh, I want you to understand. You make me feel what I need to feel, yes, in my heart.
Okay, great. So many things in that video that inspired me like to like share more things. So first of all, my favorite cup to use is my mason jar, because it has the leak-proof double lid. And so this is the only like to-go cup that I've ever used that, you know, will definitely not like leak. So I can just throw it in my bag and it never leaks. Other cups that were featured in that video are my like collapsible silicone cup, which is great for like having on me while I'm running in like a pocket or whatever, or at a party. It's so small and convenient. It's not the easiest thing to source ethically, to be honest. I had one like instance where I sold a bunch of them and I felt really bad about it because I like bought them. They were like imported to me, like they arrived to me from China super cheap. I resold them and then had to ship them all over the place, and I really did not enjoy that process. So I really mostly like encourage people to have mason jars, or just, you know, other kinds of cups that whatever. There's so many cups at thrift stores, honestly. I tell people just go buy a cup at the thrift store, but the mason jar is cool. And then I crochet these cozies, and you know, I'm gonna start selling them as well. Oh, that sounds so cute, cozies. Oh my god. And then another thing that was in that video is that like my cup, like there's a shot of my cup broken, because that happens, especially with the mason jars. Like sometimes they break, and that's one of the things that people get really like anxious about, but it does happen so rarely, and it still like lasts so much better than plastic. And you can see like all the shots of New York City trash, which is incredible. Like it's just so much. I mean, I take photos all the time of like the overflowing trash bins, and mostly it's cups. You know what I mean? But of course, it's other things. Um, and so when I was doing zero waste really religiously, I was um, I was ordering like I would go to stores called like Pre-Cycle, or there's actually a zero waste coffee shop in Brooklyn. Um, I think it's XIV or IXV Coffee or XIV, I think. And the owner of that coffee shop is like super zero waste, so she really encourages people. And there was a shot in that video too where you could see the community bin where people leave their cups and they could take them and bring them back or not, whatever. It's just like people just bring cups to have there. And it's such a cool coffee shop. And like more and more coffee shop owners like are hip with this. At the very least, they just like are okay with it. Like you can bring your cup to any coffee shop, but then sometimes it's not the case. Like I've had a few interactions with places that are just like, no, we can't do this, and you know, whatever. It's not my favorite experience to have to explain to somebody why I don't want to, like, you know, disposable cup, but um, it happens. And so I'm constantly talking about this on my social media. To answer the question I saw in the chat about how you can share that video, it's on my Instagram, and I can link to it actually here. And the coffee shop in Brooklyn is called, let me check maps really quick. It's called, I think it's XIV Coffee. Oh, sorry, I was correct. It's IXV Coffee. IXV Coffee on Pacific Street. Yeah. So for this, and in my collaboration with Zero Waste Ithaca and also Break Free from Plastic, they, you know, basically were able to have me write a song, another verse on the BYO and the BYO topic. And this one was focused on the containers, like for food, which is so interesting to me because, you know, people in New York really, they do order a lot of to go, and they order a lot of food delivery. And there was a company that was like doing like a reusable system, but I think they're called Deliver Zero, and I think they phased out. Like they were also just using plastic containers, but they were reusing them. Like you could give it back to the restaurant and they'd get a new one. But yeah, it's like the not being able to bring your own container to a restaurant to have them fill with food is unfortunate. I do believe that like if you were to just do it, like you were asked, like most places would probably just do it. But other solutions around that is like you get the food to stay and then you just put it in your own container, which of course dirties their dish, but it is what it is. And so I made a verse and I made a video, and I'm going to post it tomorrow and tomorrow morning. So that'll be on my Instagram, Hila the Earth. And I'll share it with you now. You get exclusive to see the video. No one's ever seen it before. I literally finished editing it, you know, half an hour before this meeting. So here it is. It's like very short. It's under a minute. And then I'm gonna, maybe I can show you other pictures and stuff of me and my zero waste life, but let's see. Okay, here we go.
Wait, that's so smart. You brought your own container?
Yeah. I'm a working girl and I need to eat. I like to cook at home, but I'm really beat. There's a restaurant I love just down the street, but when they pack my food in plastic, I feel defeat. You know those to-go boxes, the black plastic containers, they're made from toxic e-waste. They should have a disclaimer, leaching carcinogens, bad chemicals and lead. Meanwhile, I could have brought my own glass one instead. I love my containers, I've become attached. There's so much waste, that waste ain't snatched. It's all over the ocean, in our blood, these plastics. I wanna eat healthy, then go to gymnastics. Bring your own, bring your own, bring your own container. We care about the earth, it's our human nature. Bring your own, bring your own, bring your own container. Refuse single-use plastics, it's a no-brainer.
Yay! So that
Thank
is
you.
that is the video we made.
Thank you. I love it.
You're so welcome. Yeah, it was super fun to make. What was I forgot something else that this was reminding me of all of a sudden is like Yeah, it's just really my big mission is to, make it really sexy and fun to be doing zero waste, to have earth consciousness, and also to connect it with other kinds of social activism. Someone in the chat wrote that they love the Free Palestine sticker. All these things are really connected. I mean, plastic is oil, and as the imperialist agenda is out here starting wars for oil, we can't disconnect these things from each other. They're connected. The world that requires us to be hustling, constantly grinding, working, 40 hours a week and have no time to cook, have no time to do dishes. This is the same system that, wants us to be using disposables. And zero waste lifestyle is also requires us to slow down. It requires us to, have a connection with the food and the drinks that we consume. So it really I really do find those things to be connected, and I push that idea as well. And on the topic of the black plastic containers, actually today I reached out to a friend of mine who runs Evie Loves. They're a food distribution company. They basically meet every Sunday, prepare thousands of meals and distribute them all over the city to people in need. And this is an incredible effort, and but people are being food insecure, and with SNAP EBT being cut and all of this, it's amazing that this org is able to provide food for people. They do, of course, put it in disposable containers. And I noticed that they were the black plastic containers. And today I reached out to him and I was like, hey, are you able to just at least swap it out for a different kind of plastic? Can you do a white container? I'm pretty sure that those are better than the black plastic. And he was like, oh, you know what? I'll look into it. And he sent me a screenshot of him connecting with his distributor or whatever for the plastic containers to find out if there's a white version of that container. So that's really cool. And it was because of this project that I was inspired to talk to him about it, because I was I'm about to release this thing, and I really want to promote you and your efforts as well, but I noticed you do this thing, and can we think, because how cool would it be now if they changed that and I'm able to make a video being hey, Evie Loves used to do this, but now they do this. Everybody should get off of these black plastic containers at the very least. Yeah, so that's pretty much my presentation. I now have time for questions. If anybody wants to ask me questions, I would love to answer them. Oh, the name of the org is Evie Loves. You can check them out, Evie Loves. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on, I was okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, Earth to Des. I think I follow Earth to Des. Let me check. Yes, I do. Yay. Very cool. Oh, hi. Oh, yay. Des is here. Okay, amazing. Cool. Yeah, so if anyone has questions. Yes, of course.
What was your creative process like? I know you mentioned the black plastic containers right away when I mentioned we need a container version of this song. But how do you create your song? Where do you start? Where do you draw your inspiration?
That's such a good question. I mean, obviously I'm inspired by, my life as a zero waste advocate and, just experiences that I have. It's, a lot of the time it's just kind of I start writing words that I think are going to be important, or ideas that I want to express, I think one of the first things I did was what rhymes with container, what rhymes with this, and then kind of it might sound cliche to say this, but it's you kind of enter a trance phase. I don't even remember how, all of a sudden I have it, it's oh, now I have it. And it's I have a little verse. How cute. And I think originally when I was writing this one, I was okay, I want to tell this story of why somebody might want to get to go food, because it's so that's I'm a working girl and I need to eat. And it's yes, of course everybody needs to eat, but sometimes you're too busy to cook, sometimes you don't need to cook. Not every single person needs to have a kitchen and cook and cook their whole meals. I feel what's missing so much from our societies and civilization at this point is like, especially in New York, is like places for us to be to get meals that is not like a restaurant, you know? And there are places like cafeterias in the city, but they are they have to go containers for them. So like there's not a lot of places where you can go get a real plate, you know, put food on the plate, and there's gonna be food there always. I mean, you can go to a buffet. I guess that's some options like that. There's some buffet places you could go to, but we need more things like that, or more community spaces for eating. So yeah, so I was just thinking about that and just like trying to like share the message of like what it is, and then talk about the black plastic containers. Um, yeah, it's a really enjoyable process for me to create music and lyrics that tell stories of this nature.
Thank you. It's amazing that we were able to collaborate, and you even said yes, so we are really, really grateful. Um, there's another question, I think, in the chat,
Yes,
from
I
Amy.
see. How do you deal with the constant pressure of the hurricane that is plastic waste all around you when most don't bat an eye and continue contributing to the surge of single plastics? That's a great question. Especially in the last year, I had to make a very important mindset shift around how I'm going to react to other people and what's around me and, you know, outside of my personal control. Because when I started this journey, it was like 2016. When I started it like very strictly and very seriously, it was 2016. Trump had just got elected for the first time, and I was feeling extremely distraught, and I felt like I had no control. And I was like, okay, well, this is the only thing that I really feel like is in my control. Like, let me see how much I can do it. Um, and I had like every single sort of, I don't know. I had jobs that were very flexible. I had a lot of time. I had the wherewithal to be able to do these things and make my own this and make my own that. And you know, as time went on, I realized that most people just really, you know, they struggle with time and energy and knowledge and information. And I don't judge people anymore. You know, I've decided, especially like last year was the year that I decided like I am no longer going to put any energy towards what is not working, and I'm going to put more energy towards what is working and empower those people to keep doing it as much as they can. Like I started taking pictures of people when I see their cups and being like, "Oh my God, will you be part of my photo series for the Bring Your Own Cup?" Da, da, da. And like, you know, just trying to like really like show that this is a really positive, fun, sexy movement. There's other content creators like Climate Cuties who does like, you know, I think she made a post that was like, you know, filming guys with their cups and just like how like hot that is, like, ooh, zero waste guys like with their cups, you know. So it's like really like I'm eager to focus more on how I can turn this into more of like a trend and a statement rather than focus on like what's bad. um but I think, you know, it's the seeing it everywhere with the mountains of plastic. I think it's enough. Like I love filming those things and then posting them to juxtapose how like my choices don't result in what you're seeing in front of you. And most people do not like that. And kids especially do not like trash around them. Whenever I ask kids about like what is something that you want for the earth, like, or what's something you tell adults about what, you know, how to heal the world, they almost like 80% of children talk about trash. They talk about littering, they talk about trash. They just, you know, so I think that as long as it's there, it's going to help people wake up. But I personally cannot feed the anger part of it because it turns people off. And yeah, I want to turn people on to these new ways of being, and I want them to think it's accessible and fun if they can do it. And also, I don't know people's situations. Like, I don't judge people because I know what it takes to live this lifestyle. And if somebody has roommates that keep their sinks clogged, if somebody has unsafe, you know, situation, like, you know, it's like not always in their control. And I just decided not to judge people anymore about what they're doing, and focus on the people who are able to make those changes in life.
So I have a question because you are an educator. I'm just wondering if you're able to get into the schools where kids are would be so hungry for this.
Yeah, I have done some school shows, and I definitely encourage bring your own at schools. Usually kids have water bottles at school, so that's a really like easy way for them to understand what the concept is. Like, you know, they have water bottles, they're not using plastic water bottles every time. Um, and yeah, I would love to do more school things for sure. Maybe that's something that'll happen in 2026. And what else do I see in this chat? Um, do do you do any cup wraps when you are getting a drink? That's funny, Jared. That's a funny question. No, usually not. Not a lot of time. New Yorkers don't have time to listen to me rap while I'm getting my drink. So, but I do hand out hearts. So that's something that I do. I give hearts to baristas and cashiers all the time. And you know, I do, and usually we have cute conversations about this cozy. Like people really like the cozy. I learned how to crochet just so I can make these jar cozies. The mason jar is leak proof because it has this like double lid situation. Once I secure the lid onto the mason jar, it will not leak. It just won't. It does not matter how much I shake it or if it's upside down in my jar, in my bag. I mean, like, it just doesn't. And you know, mason jars are meant for canning, and so they keep an airtight seal when you can them. So even, I mean, this is not airtight right now because it was not canned, but the two-part lid really really does good work. Oh, boba is so funny. So yes, I have. Actually, it's amazing. I've never been rejected from a boba place. The boba places are always like, okay. And for boba, I usually bring this is a 16-ounce jar. I usually bring a 24-ounce jar, like a slightly taller version of this. And then the only thing that you need is a boba straw, okay? Because I had like a regular skinny straw, and that was silly. I could not drink my boba tea with this skinny straw. It was just not working. So I recommend, you know, getting a large 24-ounce jar and a boba straw and going to a boba place and being like, hey, could you put the boba in here? And like, I would bet that they would, but you know, you never know. You never know, because those places are very plasticky, but you could try. I've done it. Yeah, spoon also works, yeah. I have a funny video somewhere of me trying to get the boba out with my little straw. Like I would like suck on it and like hold it down so the air would stay and then pull it out. And it was really funny. I'll look for that. Any other questions? I think we have like maybe time for one more.
Hi, Hila. Sorry, it's a little dark. Hi. How do you when you've been rejected at a coffee shop, how do you respond? How do you I usually, leave because I don't want to have my coffee in a trashy cup, but what do you do?
Oh, that's such a great question. So it happened to me recently, actually, and I made a video about it on my Instagram, and it was very interesting, the response I got, and also just like the way that I needed to like kind of not backtrack, but make another follow-up video because it was such an uncomfortable situation, the experience, and then also the video making and like the way people responded to it. So basically, there's a 24-hour bagel store, and it's very like, it's not very pretentious. They don't have like kombucha in the drink fridge. They just have like sodas and like regular like stuff that you might find at a gas station. You know what I mean? They're a very simple kind of place. And they were telling me that they do not allow bring your own, and they wanted to offer to put it in a disposable cup, and then in my jar, right? And like, of course, I think if anybody's been doing zero waste stuff, like you all have had that experience where they'll offer to put it in their cup so that you can transfer it yourself. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, right? So I was a little bit triggered. I felt kind of upset because I was also like, oh my God, don't, like once they touch the cup, it's like, I'm like, oh no, that's it. They touched it. They're going to throw it out. Like I've already failed. Like this. So part of it is like just relaxing and just being like, whatever, not who cares, but like, I can't let myself get upset, or I can't let my nervous system get like triggered by experiences like that. But I did very calmly explain to them, I was like, actually, like, I don't want the coffee in that cup because there's microplastics leaching into it, and I said toxico. They were like Spanish speakers, so I was like, yo, it's toxic, like it's toxico, like they're not, it's a plastic situation, like I just don't want it. It's okay. Like, and I told them, I was like, it's okay. I don't need to get a coffee. Like, don't even worry about it. Just like give me a refund, or just get me a bagel or something. Like, give me another bagel. Like, I don't care. Like, just don't, I don't want the coffee, right? And in this circumstance, they were very eager to get me the coffee anyway. So they actually ended up finding this like metal, like cup container, like shaker type thing in their kitchen, and brought it out and put the coffee in that and then poured it into my cup, which I thought was so silly that they ended up doing that. But, you know, they did it. They were super sweet. Um, and, you know, they just, you know, it ended up working out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Like sometimes, like one time I went to a smoothie shop, and the woman at the smoothie shop was like, "No, I can't do this," and it was a really sad moment because I was like coming in there with so much good energy, and then she told me she couldn't do it. But I don't argue with anybody. Like if they can't do it, the answer it's just no. Like the only reason I had such an extended conversation with the bagel spot is because they were very insistent on trying to get me that coffee even after I told them it's all good, I don't want it. So yeah, but then I posted this video explaining the story, and most people, you know, I could sense the rage from my audience of like, fuck that place, boycott them. And I was like, no, like, first of all, they were super cool. They ended up like figuring out a way. Second of all, like, yes, boycott single-use coffee cups. Don't buy coffee there, but do please buy bagels there. Buy something else there because they're a 24-hour place, and I'm not trying to shut them down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're awesome, and for that, and whatever. It's just like, you know, I feel like I had to, it was just like, again, this is why I'm like, no, like, I'm not putting negativity into this practice in any way. Even when I don't get what I want, it's like, it has to come from a place of love. It has to come from a place of positivity. You know, maybe I can encourage people to send them emails or to like whatever, being like, please let us bring
Or
our
more of
cups.
us, if more people went with a reusable cup, then maybe they'd be like, wait a minute, this is a thing. Maybe we need to come up with a solution and figure out how to help serve these people, these crazy people who come in here with
Exactly.
their own cups.
Exactly, yeah. And it was so, it was very like, you know, the spotlight was on me as I was explaining my reasons, and people around were watching me, and I felt a little like shy and like, you know, I was just so anxious about my energy coming off like kind and considerate without like, but with still saying like, I think this is toxic. And it's sad because it's like I'm in there saying this is toxic, and everybody else is just like, it's toxic, and like, you know, it's uncomfortable, but it has to be done. And I feel like hopefully maybe other people who heard me were just like reconsidering their coffee choices and whether or not they want to be drinking microplastics.
Well, Hila, we're going to have to stop here. Not that I want to. It has been delightful. It's been wonderful to bring your good energy. Definitely to bring your good energy and show that it could be fun to be a BYO and to be reduce waste, which is great. So we wish you a lot of hearts for you. And
Thank
I think some
you.
of this will be brought up. I just want to mention quickly, we have a Dunkin' campaign that has been going on for a long time because Dunkin' Donuts does not allow you to use your own BYO cup. And corporate has been very stubborn, not even answering us many letters, certified letters, etc. So, but we will keep fighting and keep going on. And I wish I could do a rap, and maybe we could, or get you to do a rap, and maybe we could send that to their headquarters down in Atlanta.
That
So
would
we're
be
going
really
to,
funny also because Megan the Stallion just started a partnership with Dunkin'. So maybe I could do something along those lines. So really funny.
that would be fabulous. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be,
like we have a long like we worked so hard and to try to get Dunkin's to like we wrote a letter to the Jill wrote a letter to uh the company that is above Dunkin'. Like it's what was it? Inspire brand. They
fire
are
grants. Yeah,
they control like not just Dunkin' but also Arby's and like
Baskin Robbins, Buffalo Wings,
everything. Like
a whole bunch of they're multinational, earn billions of dollars every year, and we want to change your policy. So we
and
need to send you down to Atlanta to do some rapping down there and get them to change their policy. So we
At the,
go ahead.
Yes, some local managers are nice, Dunkin', and I know there's like a one New York City Dunkin' that allows BYO, but that's like a rare exception. Most people complain so much about Dunkin', like they put the coffee in the paper cup first, create the microplastic soup, and then pour it on into your BYO cup. It's like, no, like why do you do that?
With another Dunkin' story, I went into a Dunkin' place on the highway, and they have now a machine, so you don't even get a chance to say to a human being, fill my cup. You have this cup that plops down, and it's a disposable cup. So we just have a little bit of time left. We have a choice now. We have 8 minutes left. We have promised people that we get everybody out of here at 8:30. I don't know if we have time to do our breakout.
Let's maybe 5
All right.
minutes. Yeah.
That a yes, Yayoi?
Sure. Like
Okay, we'll have a quick and maybe just talking about some of the things that we've heard tonight, and then anything else from the prompt that we gave everybody. This is spend a few minutes socializing and seeing who we are and can be with one another. So Amy, I think you were going to do the breakout. Yun?